Morning fishers. So this one here is a bit of a review slash how-to for the Shimano Cazna 2500 FA. If you're living in Australia, you'll probably be pretty familiar with the Cazna. You might have seen it at your local BCF. It's one of the first combos I've started with. This one here I think was $99 for the Cazna SSS spinning combo with the 7-foot rod in 2 to 4 kilos and this amazing little reel. So this one here is probably about 3 years old now. You can see some of the wear and tear on it. Probably didn't treat it as good as I should have when I originally got it. It was a kayak squidding rod and whiting slash brim rod. It used to be my all-around. That combo I just mentioned I used to use for everything. If you're lucky, you probably even managed to tackle a little Aussie salmon with it. But main purpose of this video is there's not a lot of videos on YouTube, if any, really highlighting just how good this reel is or even a teardown. So what I'll do for you guys is we'll go through some of its bits and pieces, do a quick teardown. This one here, I have taken it apart once in the last period that I've owned it, and it didn't really need any maintenance. So fingers crossed that's the same. It has been submerged probably 2-3 times from lending it to some mates, but let's crack on. At present this is loaded up with I think 8-pound Berkeley trilene. Not a big fan of it, to be honest. I haven't done any reviews on the trilene, but for fishing around snags it's quite horrible. It's a little bit too stretchy for squid as well. If you're a hardcore squid or eggy specialist, it's not the best stuff. So the drag on this one, it's actually a proper clutch drag. See if we can get that one off properly. There we are. Cool. Caps off. Take that spool off. So in there. What's that? No, that's grease. There's not any sand. Oh, there's a little bit up the top there, but that is pretty good, guys. Underneath, let's have a look. Bit sandy, bit greasy. Again, as I mentioned, that's what happens when you lend it to some mates that don't look after your gear, but that's otherwise pretty good. A little bit of sand in there, and we're good there as well. Now to strip this one, guys, you're going to need a small Phillips or flathead screwdriver. This is basically a locking nut here. Pop that one out, put it somewhere safe, try not to lose that. Take the gearing off. Got this little nut in here. Now that we've undone the other one, we can undo that. This I generally put on just a bit tighter than finger tight, so just like that. Pop her off. Let's have a look what sort of condition clutch is in. That's pretty good. Pretty much noise free. That's nice and smooth there. Oh, there's our collar just popped out. But yeah, that's really good. Now to get the clutch assembly off, guys, get your 3 silver screws here. So nice and easy. Hopefully, we get one of these. No, try again. Smaller. There we are. Now try not to, if you can avoid it, try not to mess with the anti-reverse, touching that too much, because it can make it a pain when you go to reassemble it. Oh, there's a little bit of sand in there, so obviously for the reel itself I think you probably pay about 40-50 bucks from a BCF or Complete Angler or something. But for what it is, it's pretty amazing. There's a little bit of sand through there. This one looks like it's probably been dropped and buried, which is surprised that bearing's actually still running so smooth. I mean, this here, probably not a huge deal, but I like to keep the reels as sand free as possible. Yeah, so to disassemble the rest is basically pop the handle off. That one there, she's pretty clean. That's what we want to see. A little bit of sand on the outside. The actual bar itself is good. Cool. And then we've got a few screws here to undo. 1, 2, 3. This should actually be, it's underneath. This is like a cowling. There'll be one more once we get this undone. Try again, pick the right size, or the right type. I'll go flathead for these guys here. Probably go a bit bigger. Now, with these, I'll show you once we're open, because I did have a bit of drama popping it back together. Or at least popping it back together and getting it running as smooth as possible. You do have to watch that everything is in its correct position, and by that I mean at the right stage of each revolution, which I'll show you hopefully shortly. Got one more on the outside, the cowling, and then from memory there's one on the inside to undo it. Oh, there it is. That little guy there. Pop him out. Cool. So from there we should be able to pop that off. One guy on the inside. Just clear some of this space. That's one way to scratch there. Real. So we'll keep all the real ones together. Alright. Just work it apart. Nice and carefully. I like to, if I can, try to keep it laying flat on one side. You see the bearings in there, pretty well sealed. That, I think that there's a piece of grease, but it's actually quite well sealed. So get a little bit of grit on the outside. Pop that guy down, and there's your mech there, guys. So with this, it's actually quite good. It's pretty well greased. One thing you do have to watch is when you reassemble it. When you reassemble it, particularly this one here, there's a channel on the inside of this one. Now it is a pain to get back together, so I won't undo it here. There's a channel that fits onto a stud on the gear behind. It is able to fit in other positions, but if you get it in the wrong part of that channel, it'll still turn. And you won't notice just how rough it's running until you go to pop the handle back on. So guys, if you start to run into some dramas after servicing your reel, that's the first bit to check on reassembly. This one here does have a little bit of like pitting on the outside. It's greased, so it's still quite well greased. So I'm pretty happy with that. But to be honest, guys, that's the Cazna. That's it after nearly 3 years. It's been submerged once or twice, and dropped in the sand a couple of times. It's still really, really good. Hopefully I'll get to show you what the inside of a Sahara that I had, what happened to that after being dunked once. But yeah, reassembly is pretty straightforward. It's basically the opposite of what you just seen there. And that's the Cazna, guys. If you're contemplating getting one, 99 bucks I think for the combo from BCF. Can't go wrong. I've had this for some years now. I use it for everything under 4 kilos. And this one here is now my primary squidding reel. Yeah, any questions? Let me know.